Hey guys, Nick here again from Quick Tech, and if you notice, the studio looks a bit different, a bit more polished, and that's the reason for my brief hiatus. We had some water issues in the basement, so today's video is actually unboxing a dehumidifier. So stay tuned. Okay, so this is the Insignia Best Buy's house brand 70 pint dehumidifier. Now, fun fact for you, as a newbie to all things home related, I thought 70 pints was how much the basin actually holds, which would be pretty insane. But that's actually how much water it can remove in, I believe, a 24-hour period. So 70 pints of water each day is pretty good. We did have mold in the basement. Again, that's the reason for the hiatus. So we're gonna unbox this dehumidifier and see what comes inside. And of course we're gonna hook it up and see how it runs. So unboxing is probably gonna be a bit boring, so we'll speed through this. Styrofoam, the unit is pretty large actually. So here is the unit. It is a beast actually. Look at this thing. User guide. Pretty long cable. On the sides you do have lift handles, so that's definitely helpful. It does come with 4 wheels on the bottom, so you can spin it much like those suitcases of today. You can do a nice 360 movement with it. Pretty smooth. So appearance-wise, you can see it's nice and glossy up front, and then on the top, on the panel, you do have more of a matte finish. Let's see how long this cord is. And setup should be pretty simple. I assume you just plug it in and turn it on. But we'll go through all the features, so stick around. Okay. So on the back here is your filter. So as it takes in air, it's going to remove some particles in the air. And this, I believe, can be washed. So you should never really have to replace this thing. Just pick it out, give it a wash, no worries. Oh, there we go. So this, you just kind of rinse it when it gets a bit dusty, no worries. Here's the coils, this is where all the magic happens. Just put the filter back. And after a little bit of banging, it snaps right back into place. There we go. So it's nice you don't have to go running out for new filters every now and then. Just, you see when it gets grimy, give it a rinse and you're ready to go. So up front, this is going to be the water basin, and this thing holds 6 liters, so you won't have to be running back and forth changing it every few minutes. So there you go. Pretty large capacity tank there. I will be curious to see how much noise the unit does make, but again, I'd sacrifice noise for a dry, non-moldy basement any day of the week. Now, the other neat thing about this, and hang tight because in another video I'm actually going to be hooking this up, because I am definitely too lazy to keep changing the basin, you know, every night or however long it takes to actually fill up. So I am going to be connecting this. You can buy something to connect it to a pump, which will pump the water automatically once it gets filled into a slop sink, which I have down here in the basement. So that's pretty rad as well. So you just kind of untwist this thing, hook up a standard garden hose right here, and you can drain that into the pump. That'll pump it out to wherever you wish. But for the time being, I'll just use it for a few weeks and see how long the basin fills up, see how long it takes. This appears to be something for cable management, so I guess you just stick it. Looks like it goes right here. So I did mention the power cable is quite long, so this will be good if you want to get it out of the way, or just if you want to put the unit away for a bit, you can wrap the cord around this thing. Nice feature there. Obviously this has an auto off feature, so when the basin does get filled, it will stop collecting water until you empty the tank. So enough rambling on, let's pop in the basin and turn this thing on. Okay, so just taking a look at the unit here, you have your power button, your humidity level buttons for up and down, and I believe they are probably 10-15 percentage increments. We'll check that out when we power it on. We do have a timer, so you can time it, you know, however long, 0 to 24 hours, I believe. And again, you would use these buttons when setting the timer. You do have a turbo mode, in case you want this thing to while out, and then a continuous dehumidifying operation button. And over here on the side, you do have a filter reset button, so after 250 hours of use, the unit will light up and let you know that it's time to probably wash that filter. So let's turn it on, see what happens. It's actually not as loud as I thought it would be, and that is on the turbo mode. Let's turn off turbo and see how it sounds. A bit quieter, but not that much, you know. Yeah, it's a bit quieter. Turbo. I mean, they're both loud. Well, let's be serious, so whether you use turbo or not, you are going to hear the unit. So you can see my current humidity level down here in the basement is 51, which isn't that bad. I'd probably set it to be around 50. So there, you can go in 5 percentage increments. So if you want it to be at 55, 60, all the way up to, wow, 85% humidity. That doesn't sound very comfortable. So I'm going to set it for 40, and we'll run it on turbo. And I forgot to mention, you also have a defrost button here, and that lights up when the coils, you know, some frost builds up on there. We'll just keep an eye on that over time. Now I do have fluorescent bulbs, so I did have the shutter speed a bit high, which is why you saw that blinking. I just want to make sure you know that these numbers do not blink. They're constant. Same with all the lights on the unit. So we're gonna let that unit run for a bit, and we'll check in, I don't know, in a few hours and see how the basin is holding up, how much water is collected, and we'll check back. Now I will say again, stay tuned, because I'm gonna upload a second part of the video where I actually hook up the little giant condensate pump to the unit, so I don't have to keep coming down here to the basement, emptying the basin, pouring it down the sink. This way I'll just run some tubing to dispose of it directly in my slop sink. So you're not gonna wanna miss that. So it's been almost 2 hours now, and the humidity level is at 43. It's been alternating between 41, 42, 43. So it's still trying to get down to the, I believe it was 40 that we put it on. So you know what, it's almost been 2 hours. Let's stop it here. And let's turn the unit off. And I'm just curious, I wanna know how much water is in there. Okay, with the unit off, let's give it a pull. And there definitely is water inside. And you'll see the unit is actually beeping now with a P2 message. I assume that just means, hey, you removed the basin. And yeah, there definitely is a lot of water in there. Okay, so from about 49 or 50, I believe it was when we started, to now, and it took a little under 2 hours before I pressed stop, before I couldn't take it anymore. Let's see how much water indeed did we capture. And the basin does have a handle for easy dumping, but for this purpose, I'm just gonna grab it by the sides here, and let's see. And they say you can reuse this water, but, I mean, you didn't see that. They say you can reuse this water, but I'm not really into that. Okay. So, minus the water that I spilt all over the place, this yielded, in a little under 2 hours, exactly 4 liters. Crazy. Let me wipe this up before more mold forms and it defeats the whole purpose. Shout out to Slinky Dog. So minus all this water that I dropped like an idiot, the unit yielded about 4 and change in terms of liters in less than 2 hours. So that's going from about 50% humidity level to where we ended at that around 42. So that about wraps it up for this one. Again, this is the Insignia 70 pint dehumidifier with the 6-liter catch basin. So far I'm really happy with the unit. I'll do a follow-up video showing me connecting it to my slop sink, and time will tell how the unit stands up. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Hopefully you found it somewhat helpful. I nearly destroyed my newly finished basement just making this. So like, comment, subscribe. Cheers.